Okay, so this is Unit 1 review stuff number 8 here. And we've got a triangle formed by an absolute value graph and a line y equals -6. So the first thing we got to do is draw a sketch. So let's do that. All right, so I'm going to start with the absolute value one. Whoops. And that equation, first, in general, absolute value functions take this form most of the time, or the common form is that. And remember, hk is the vertex, and a tells you about the slope. It's really a stretch factor and tells you if it opens up or down. And here's our equation, negative absolute value x minus 3 minus 4. And in this one, plus 4. And in this one, you can see from the format that the vertex, the h is 3 and the k is 4. And the a is -1. So really there's no stretch when it's a 1 or -1. The negative really just flips the thing upside down. So this thing right here is a reflection. It reflects the original across the x-axis. So that means it's going to open down now, right? And this thing's related to slope. It's not technically slope because it's really two different slopes. But on this side, the slope will be +1. And on this side, the slope will be -1 because of that a value right there. And that should be enough to graph it. So we'll start at the vertex, which is 3, 4. So this point is 3, 4. And then the slope on one side is -1, and the slope on the other is 1, which means it's like 1 over 1 down, 1 over 1 down, 1 over 1 down. These points are all going to be on the graph, and this way too, right? So we're going to get these points on the graph too. And then I'll use the ruler to draw this. So here's one of the lines. Here's the one side. And then here's the other side. Right there. Okay, so there's the absolute value graph. The other thing we need is y equals -6. Excuse me. Well, y equals -6, that's just a horizontal line that goes through all the values where y is -6. Let me put the axes in here because I think that'll help. My guess is most of you drew those first. So let's see. 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's where 0, 0 is. So the axes do something kind of like this. Right. And so y equals -6 is going to be down here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let me use another color. Okay, so that's going to do... Whoa, it's way down here. Something like this. And I'm realizing that this doesn't fit on your screen there, so let me shrink this down a little. Or actually, let me move it over so that it can be seen. Okay. And then I'll extend those red lines so that they actually hit the other thing. Okay, so this keeps going till it hits down here. This keeps going till it hits over here. And so then I got to extend that green line a little bit too. So this is the line y equals -6. Okay. Now we need the area of the triangle. And you might remember area of triangle is 1/2 base height. You might also remember from last year, we would often build a rectangle around the big triangle and then subtract out the slope triangles that were around it. But this one is easy because this part's already flat. So that's the base. and then just straight up and down here will be our height. So we don't really have to do anything special with building around it. So let's see here. We need where these points are, because that's one of the questions. And you can do it by just counting over using the slope of -1 and +1 to figure out where on this graph it is. But if you wanted to do it algebraically, then the one thing you know about these points is y is -6. So they're also on the red graph, so you can plug them into this equation up here. Y equals -6, and so -6 is negative absolute value x minus 3 plus 4. If I subtract 4 from both sides, I get -10 equals negative absolute value x minus 3. I can multiply both by -1 to get positives. At this point, I've got an absolute value equals a number, so I can split it. So the inside is 10, or the inside is -10. And if you work out this side, you get 13. And if you work out that side, you get -7. And if you actually look at where these points are, this is the -7, -6 one. And over here is the 13, 6. And now we can get the area of the triangle, because this length right here, that base of the triangle, goes from -7 to +13. So it's 7 here and 13 more here. So that's 20. And then the height of the triangle goes from y equals 4 to y equals -6. So it's 4 up here and 6 more down here. So this total height here is 10. So then if we plug into the area of the triangle, 1/2, base is 20, height is 10. So it's half of 200, which is 100. All right. Hope that helps a little bit.